What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Dailey, founder of the Sports Court, joined here by the Nick Saban of dual national recruiting, the head honcho of the USMNT national team, Gregg Berhalter. So, Greg, it's an honor to be talking to you, and thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris. You know, I've seen some of your work before, and I love your spirit, and I think you have big potential, man.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it means a lot. So, you're a Jersey kid. I'm a Jersey kid. You grew up in Tenafly, New Jersey, and you played alongside the likes of Claudio Reyna at St. Benedict's Prep. So, what were those days playing with Claudio like and winning every single game in high school? And jumping to the future, you now coach Giovanni. So, how cool is it to coach your friend's son?
It's crazy. It's really about everything coming full circle, right? But you know, Claudio and I first of all played on the same club team, and his dad was the coach. And then we went to high school. We both transferred to St. Benedict's, and you know, there we had a great team, man, and it was fun. Really strong culture. The coach was Rick Jacobs. He did a really good job of building the team spirit and the team culture. And we traveled all across the United States playing teams. His idea was to play the best competition possible. So we went to New Mexico, we went to New York, we went to Maryland, we went to North Carolina. Anywhere we can go to find good games, we go play. And we had a great run those years.
That's crazy. I read about it. It was like 65-0, and that's just amazing for high school soccer. And speaking of you as a kid, your godfather was Carl Yastrzemski, and he's a Red Sox legend, Red Sox Hall of Fame. So, firstly, please tell me you did not wear a Red Sox jersey to school growing up so close to the...
Of course I did, and I got heckled by all the students because obviously we had a lot of Yankee fans, not so many Mets fans, but a lot of Yankees fans, and it didn't go over well with them, Chris, as you could imagine.
Yeah, I can. My dad wore a Yankees jersey on the flip side to a Boston bar, and same thing happened with him, so it's never a good idea. But tell me about the experiences you had on the field at Fenway as a kid and seeing your godfather play professional baseball.
You know, I think it just became normal. We didn't realize how good he was. You know, we went to one, clear memory I have is going to his retirement game and seeing all the gifts that the team's given him and all the fans. It was Yaz Day, and he had such a big impact on that organization. And I think sometimes we didn't realize it as we were going through it. But when you look back on it, talking about hard work, effort, and this quest to continue to get better, I think that's what Yaz embodied. So it was a privilege to be around him. It was a privilege to be around the other Red Sox and being in the locker room and being on the field at Fenway. And, I learned a real lot about professional sports.
That's cool. And I can only imagine having godfather playing for the Red Sox. It's sick. So I want to fast forward a bit. You go to UNC to play college soccer, and then all of a sudden when you're a junior, you get an opportunity to move to the Netherlands and play there. So how's that transition from playing college soccer in the States to all of a sudden a professional environment in a totally foreign country?
Yeah, so, there was two sides of it. I know I wanted a challenge. I know I was ready for a challenge. I was at the point where I didn't feel like college soccer was challenging me enough. And I decided, okay, I need more. So the challenge was definitely there. The second part of it was leaving college life and leaving, North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I don't know if you've been there, Chris, but it's a beautiful city. And, I was going to be a senior. We're going to have a good team. So all of that was the comfort and then the getting out of your comfort zone. And I chose to get out of my comfort zone. And the reason why is because that's where I thought I can start reaching my goals and reaching my dreams. And, fortunately it worked out, and it was a great experience to go over there and start competing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you had a quite memorable career in Europe, and you played with Crystal Palace, and then you even captained Energy Kappas. Excuse me if I said that wrong. I'm not really sure how to say it, but...
You're pretty good. You did pretty good. Energy.
Yes.
Pretty good.
You led them to a promotion to the Bundesliga, which is the glory land of German soccer. So what were the scenes like when you promoted them there, and just describe that adrenaline rush?
So, it's a feeling that I wish everyone can experience, because if you could imagine, the whole town is pulling for this team. It's a small town, only about 100,000 people. And, they just got behind the team. And this day of the game that we got promoted was the last game of the season, and the stadium was completely filled, standing room only, just all around, completely filled up. And we won the game, and there's just this immediate rush of fans onto the field. And it was something I'll never forget. It meant so much to the people. They were crying. There were tears in their eyes that Kopos was back in the Bundesliga. So a really fantastic experience, which led to about 3 days of partying and enjoying the German beer with all the fans in the whole city. It was a good experience.
That's funny. Yeah, I love when I guess it's only Bayern Munich that seems to win nowadays, but whenever they win, they get that huge pint of beer.
The big beer.
It's crazy.
The big beer, right?
Yeah.
We had one of those. We had a couple of those. That was so fun.
Yeah, that's funny. So you're now the coach of U.S. men's national team. That's what most people know you by. But you were a player as well back in the day. And 2002, the World Cup was in Korea. I think it was a dual country. I'm not sure what the other country was, but
Korea, Japan.
Yeah. So I talked about the adrenaline rush of getting promotion. What about the adrenaline rush of playing in a World Cup and going pretty far by the U.S.'s standards back then, going to the quarterfinals against Germany?
That's another experience that I'll just never forget. And the reason why is because by that time I had played in 3 different countries, as well as spent time growing up and developing in the United States. And, the day of the game, the day before the game, the day after the game, I'm getting texts literally from all around the world, everyone saying they're watching the game. And it was such a good, to imagine being in the final 8 in the World Cup. It's a great accomplishment. It's something that, we're going to do everything we can to get back to there and hopefully do more. But it was really a great experience, Chris. And, I'll never forget the just feeling that the whole country is behind the team. We got a call from the president the day before the game, the second round game against Mexico, urging us to beat them because he had a bet with the president of Mexico. And that's a good feeling. That's fun to think that the president's even paying attention.
Yeah, that's funny. Was it Bush back then? Was it Bush?
It was. Yeah. It was, yeah.
That's great. Mm-hmm. And I know Brian McBride was a great player in that tournament, and now you work alongside him because I'm pretty sure he has a pretty big role in U.S. soccer. And I know Landon won Young Player of the tournament, so it was a great tournament for Americans in 2002. And
it was. It was a really fun tournament.
Yeah. So you're now the coach of a highly successful U.S. men's national team, and it seems every day more and more players are playing at the world's biggest clubs. I know Tim Way just got a goal today in the Europa League.
You see that?
Yeah.
Good goal, huh?
Good goal. Unfortunately didn't see it, but I did hear about it. So it's been hard to find games recently for the red, white, and blue due to COVID. Some teams been canceling on you. How do you schedule games now with social distancing and teams, as I mentioned, always seeming to cancel?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing, Chris, is that we can do it in a safe way. Because if you could imagine, if we get all our guys in from 25 different clubs and they come together and we send them back with an outbreak or with a quarantine situation, it's going to be really bad on what we're doing in international soccer in general. So the biggest priority, first and foremost, is keeping everyone safe, COVID-free. And the medical staff does a great job of ensuring that it's a secure environment. So that's really important. And then the second thing is about being flexible, being able to adapt. And, we like to say with the staff, have a plan, make a better plan. So we're prepared, but we're always looking for how we can be better. And that's also adapting when you need to.
Yeah, that's really big. And I know now there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, and it's really a crazy time that we live in compared to just a few years ago. I look at pictures with people without masks on. I'm like, are they crazy? But I got to remember that's in 2017 or so. So,
how are you, Chris? Have you been safe? Has your family been safe?
My family's been safe. My dad unfortunately caught it a few months ago, but it was actually really tough, in the hospital and whatnot. But he's safe.
Oh my gosh!
It's good now, but it's just crazy how I had a friend that got it, and I know a few people that get it and they're fine, and then there's some people that get it really bad. So it's really it's just crazy. And speaking of sports, I know this is a different type of football, but Lamar Jackson, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him on the Ravens.
Sure.
It's Cam Newton. I think Lamar got it, but Cam Newton got it, and he's on the Patriots, and from that point on, he was never the same. So it affects some players differently than others, and it's really It's just really crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, and now one big question around the U.S. men's national team is who's going to captain the squad. Guys like Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, who I met, he's a great guy, and I'm not trying to say put the armband on him. And John Brooks, a lot of guys who are favorites to be the captains. Do you have anybody in mind that you want to put the armband on? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot by any means.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I mean, we should talk about this. So what we've done is we've taken a non-traditional stance on this. And I know everyone wants there to be, from day one captain, and we want this person to be anointed and then this person be the captain for the next however long. But we looked at it a little bit differently, Chris. And what we saw was we have young leaders, and we need to develop these young leaders. So we formed a leadership council, which is a diverse group of the team. It was voted on by the players, and these guys are responsible for driving team decisions and really setting the tone for the group. And from there, we've been picking the captain. And the idea is as we go over time, these leadership qualities will develop in this environment, and then I think a leader will emerge, and that's the way we've been handling it. But it's certainly non-traditional. I understand that. But it's accommodating for the age that we have in the group right now.
Yeah, well, that's definitely an interesting outlook on it, and I think it's proven effective. The team seems to be doing pretty well right now, and I love it. Like on social media, all the guys, whenever somebody posts a picture, everybody's always commenting, and it's always just great to see the chemistry within a squad, especially when it's your home country. So, as I said in the beginning, you're the Nick Saban of dual national recruiting. You got stars such as Sergino Dest, who joined the program. Yastrzemski, he played for us recently, and you also have a youngster in Folarin Balogun. I'm trying to say that right, tough name, but he's got a decision to make between the USA and England. So what goes into getting these guys to commit to this program that you're building, and how is it going with Balogun?
And Nigeria. He has the option to play for Nigeria as well.
Yeah.
And all we're trying to do is talk to them about what we're doing and show them our environment. Talk to them about, the group that we have, the special chemistry that you mentioned, and then bring them into our environment and let that speak for itself. We really believe as coaches we want to put the players in the best possible position to succeed. We want to play to their strengths. It's a positive coaching mindset. We're not harping on weaknesses. We're building up their strengths. And we want to play proactive soccer. We want to play aggressive soccer that's proactive and takes it to the opponent. So once we get them into camp, I think that speaks for itself. And the guys do a great job of selling the program. I mean, when you think about having the opportunity to play with guys like Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams, I mean, that's a dream because not only are they great soccer players, but they're great guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And it seems to be you're doing pretty well at it. Everybody always loves whenever you make the next big announcement about who committed to the program. I know Andres Pereira recently did it, and they showed a Zoom video of you two talking, so it was pretty cool to watch that.
It was a big moment. That was fun.
Yeah, and lots of U.S. men's national team players have youth experience growing up in other countries. I know Weston, he had military parents, I believe, spent some years in Germany, Christian in England. So lots of different countries, and not every player, but lots did. What can America do better to develop these young players in America?
Well, Chris, I think we're doing a good job. I really do. I think we've made a lot of progress. And if you go back 14 years when the Development Academy was started by U.S. Soccer together with Major League Soccer, the investment that Major League Soccer is doing in the youth academies, we're doing a really good job. And the thing to take into consideration is that it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. That's why it's called development, right? Because it happens over a period of time. And we've seen now the results of some of that labor. Some of our young guys, Brian Reynolds is a good example. Chris Richards is a good example. Some of our young guys going over to play for some big clubs in Europe that were products of Major League Soccer and the Development Academy.
Yeah, it's definitely a great time to be an American, and it's just amazing to see all these guys at the top clubs and watching them. Champions League's considered the biggest, club tournament on the planet, and to watch guys like Weston playing it, all these guys that are part of these squads, it's surreal just compared to a few years ago. And MLS has done a great job at developing players, and I know the USL the second division just opened up their own academy system. So it's definitely growing day by day, and it's something. It's great for America because it's, to me, the youth system is definitely the roots, and people don't see the roots, but the roots got to be strong to hold up the tree of the national team.
That's right. Well said.
Thank you, and it's an honor to be talking to you. And I gotta ask, growing up in New Jersey, it's considered the best soccer state. Where do you rank New Jersey amongst in the country amongst the best soccer states?
It was up there. When I think about my time, New Jersey was certainly up there. California was also really strong. And one thing that California has as an advantage is they get to play all year round. And in New Jersey, we're, because of the difficult winters, we can't play all year round, where we have to move to indoor soccer for an extended period. So that set us back a little bit. Well, one thing you always have from New Jersey, Chris, and you know this just as well as I do, is that the players are gritty, man. The players can grind, and that's something that that's what a New Jersey player stands for.
And to speak of the weather, I had nice natural lighting in my room here, and then all of a sudden, over the course of this interview, it's grown dark, and the snow on the ground definitely doesn't help. But you're definitely right, and I watched a big thing on Kearney, New Jersey, and Kearney, I think they had three players at the '94 World Cup in the starting 11, just from one small town in New Jersey. It's the Kearney Scots. There's a lot of Scottish people there. It's just it's crazy how great New Jersey is. And I spoke about Tim Howard, how I talked to Tim Howard a bit earlier. He's from New Jersey, so it seems like the list of New Jersey soccer players never ends, both men and women's.
That's right. Carly Lloyd also, right?
Yeah, I remember watching that performance that she had in that World Cup final. Just brilliant.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and that's about all the questions I have for you, Gregg. And to be honest, it was just an honor to be talking to you. And, talking to you just gives me a lot of hope about this squad, that in the future, a World Cup, it will be home in the United States of America. And I thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to me. And for everybody, make sure to go watch USA versus Northern Ireland in a month or two. When is it? I think March something?
March 28th. Chris, I got 2 questions for you, okay? Do you mind?
Yeah, no problem.
Let's flip roles here for a second. First one is, I've heard you say before, you've had heroes like Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan and guys that from U.S. Soccer that you've looked up to. Who are the players now that you look up to, and why?
Well, firstly, I'm going to go Tyler Adams just because of his, and I'm not saying that just because he's local. Of course, that does help, but, just because of his attitude and the way just how resilient he is. I really love watching him play, and I just think the position he plays in, he's so versatile. He can play anywhere, and if he does it, he's not a player that's going to complain about playing anywhere, and that's what I love. Like, I hate when, somebody says, oh, the coach says play right back, but you're a center mid, and all of a sudden the person's, crying about playing that position. So Tyler is definitely not that type of guy. And
that was a crazy coach that put him at right back, right?
Yeah, I mean, he plays right back, I'm pretty sure, within RB Leipzig, though. So, I'm not saying – it's funny how I mentioned that, but I was just saying in general because those are actually the 2 positions I play. So, definitely Tyler. And then, to be honest, I really love Weston. I think Weston, what he's done at Juventus, he's really shocked. He shocked everybody because when he went to Juventus, I honestly said he's kind of crazy. I was like, why is he going to Juventus? It's not like he's going to play. From Schalke to Juventus. Schalke and Hoppe, he's very good. He's doing good stuff. But when he went to Juventus, I was laughing. I'm like, he's not going to play at Juventus. And now you can say he's one of the top 5 players at one of the best teams in the world.
He's got a huge spirit, man. He's a competitor. He's got a high level in him. Second question I have for you, Chris, is this. What do you want to see from the U.S. men's national team?
Well, I just want to see wins, and I want to see a team that wants to play and wants to be there, and I want to see a team that's going to fight because that game in Trinidad, it's talked about a lot, but the thing is, to be quite honest, I just think that when you go 1-0 down, there should be something that ignites. There should be a fire that burns in your stomach and a fire that makes you want to win that game 2-1. All you had to do is tie, let alone win against a country. I'm in Monmouth County. Trinidad is 1/6 the size of Monmouth County. I'm just going to put it like that. So that's a game, I just feel like the players, there should be a fire that burns inside of them. And I know a guy like Josie Outfitter, they said the fans said Josie was the only one who came up to them after that game, and that's a guy, of course, that he's getting a bit older now, but he's definitely a great player. But I just want to see a team that cares, and a team that when you put on that badge, you're not just playing for 11 guys. You're playing for 365 million people, and that is a lot of people, and you got to want to play for it.
That's right. Chris, let me ask you something. Do you do motivational speaking? Can I bring you in and talk to the team one day?
Listen, I'd love to. I'd be honored. That's amazing. That's one thing I would
All right.
get into.
Listen, you make me a promise. When we play in New Jersey, you come to watch our training. You speak to the team. All right?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it. And to Michael, I know you're in the Zoom. Thank you to both of you, and it was great talking to Andy about you. Andy, he's a funny guy, and one thing about both of you is I love when people bring the energy to the interviews, and both of you certainly did, and it really helps out a lot. So thank you so much.
All right. You bet, bud. Good.